Now, today's polls will see the close of what has been an animosity-filled process characterized by legal actions and what some believe has repercussions on the 2024 general elections. My colleague Eric Monegbata looks up to the poll some minutes away.
Residents of Assin North will later this morning vote to elect a new member of parliament. The two-year legal battle over the validity of James Jachikwasin, which was settled by the Supreme Court, means over 41,000 delegates will be at 99 polling stations today. Three parties have expressed interest in occupying the vacant seat. The governing New Patriotic Party, who have Charles Opoku as #1 on the ballot paper. The Liberal Party of Ghana with Benis Sepenu, and the opposition National Democratic Congress will depose James Jachikwasin again as #3 on the ballot. The campaigns have been filled with salvos. With its subsequent responses.
The president is wrong if he said that, because he's prejudicing the case in court.
With the constituency a beehive of activities, residents say they are relishing in the now good times, while some just don't care.
Because I don't know no normal koyi kakrankra bibia juma se no mami fo no muton no man bibia kosomo mu
me dia me hu ne se de omoye no me se me ka me nko aka no bagawaya.
The polls are out and the ruling government is leading with a small margin of victory.
Charles Opoku is very popular. He's liked by the people. He doesn't have a baggage of an typical MPP candidate. But I think what has happened to him is the baggage of MPP that he has now to carry.
It is a swing seat, one the NDC has won twice since 2012. In 2012 itself, and then in 2020, with the NPP winning it only in 2016. And with a margin of 3,305 in the 2020 general elections, as against the over 31,000 voters who turned up, eyes now are fixated on the Assin North constituency as the entirety of the country awaits the outcome of the crucial election.
Well, as the country awaits the outcome of the election and the constituents themselves to await the outcome, let's go live now to Assin North for a feel of how the constituency is an hour or less before the start of the by-election there. Let's join my colleague Eric Monegbata. Eric, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. We understand that election materials have begun arriving already. Talk to us about the mood, the temperature and the atmosphere in the constituency.
Right, so Crosby, just in your short, those are voters here at Akomfoni in the basic school cluster. There are 4 polling stations, and what you're seeing in your shot right now is Akomfoni. So basically, you can say JHS 1 here, where 534 voters are expected to turn up today and vote, and they've already started. Like I mentioned,
unfortunately, we have lost connection to Eric Monegbata. We'll try and re-establish the connection with him as he tells us what the constituency is looking like ahead of the by-election. When we reach him, we'll bring you that conversation. But in the meantime, we know that the Inspector General of Police has declared a zero tolerance of weapons in the Assin North constituency ahead of the by-election that is starting in about an hour or less. Now, the directive, according to the police chief, is intended to eliminate potential conflict during the polls.
The meeting was called at the instance of the Inspector General of Police, Dr. George Akufu-Dampare, who was seeking to iron out concerns and grievances from all political parties and stakeholders ahead of the Assin North by-elections. It spanned over an hour and 30 minutes where deliberations over whether or not assault rifles or weapons would be allowed within the polling station area and even in the Assin North constituency. Concerns from the NDC ranging from name tags and identification of police personnel were all promptly addressed by the Inspector General of Police. Speaking to the media after the deliberations, Chair of the NDC, Johnson Esiedun Ketia, said they are optimistic the IGP and his men will do a human's job.
So, about meeting, I say, and can say, woman drop woman bodyguard. Okay. On say bodyguards, no, so police for. Right. Inti, womusu kura tio. Inti IGP will declare district, you know.
The IGP says he has declared the Assin North District weapon-free. The police service will be in charge of the entire security. So it is not just the MPs whose bodyguards will not be allowed to use weapons. This IGP has been responsible in the last 2 elections held. So we believe in him to do a good job with this one too.
For the NPP, they continue to remain confident in the elections process.
Yes, we are going to work in tandem with the police and all other security agencies that will be present at the election grounds.
For the Electoral Commission, all electoral materials are ready and distribution to various polling stations will be done with support from the political parties.
We have received all our election materials. We have packaged them, so tomorrow early in the morning, we'll dispatch them to the various polling centers. We have also trained election officials. We are going to have all the representatives from all the political parties, that is NPP, LPG, and NDC. We are going to have them at the police station before we start deployment.
The police, meanwhile, is seeking to use the latest in technology to combat any attempt by any group to foment trouble. Eric Mawina Egbeta, TV3 News, Assin State College, Assin, Breku.
Well, the Member of Parliament for Wild West, Peter Tobu, has welcomed the IGP's directive that bodyguards of MPs and other high-profile personalities should not carry firearms within the Assin North constituency during the by-election. He says this will go a long way to ensure security is tightened during the period of the by-election.
He says that I have decided that we do not need proliferation of arms in the theater. We've done the arrangement, and we have people who are qualified to carry arms, and we call them the Rapid Deployment Force. Any other person will not be allowed to carry an assault rifle. Your bodyguard can still carry their pistols, no problem. Your bodyguards can still carry their sidearms, but your bodyguard will not follow you with his sidearm to a polling station, because at the polling station, it is a no-arm zone. So if somebody disagrees with the IGP, fine. But from a professional perspective, I think that we need to agree that you can't carry arms to the polling station.
So clearly you could see this is a big day for the nation, a big day for the Assin North constituency, plus a big day for Ghana's parliament, also relating to the two political parties, the NPP and the NDC. Let's try and reconnect with Eric Mawina-Egbeta, who is in the constituency at the moment, for some live update on the arrival of voting materials and how the constituents are prepared for all this very important by-election there. Eric, thank you for joining us. If you can hear me now, what I'm trying to find out is the temperature, the mood of the constituency. We understand voting and election materials are arriving already, and in less than an hour, we should be good to go.
Rightly so, Crosby. We should be good to go. I was going through the Akonfudi electoral area, the cluster of basic schools here where 4 polling stations are. And so just in your short, that's a queue already that's formed up just a little after 6 a.m. It began just before 6 a.m. And you asked about the mood. Well, these constituents are ready and eager, turned up in their numbers already, counting more than 10 people in the queue already at the primary school 1, where 326 people are expected to vote. Up there a bit in your shorts, they are yet to begin to see the queues forming, but there are individuals standing there as well, and that's a primary 2. Another polling station within the cluster of basic schools here. And then there's the JHS polling station as well, where 534 individuals are expected to vote this morning. And so if you ask about the mood in the constituency, we're currently at Akonfudi here in the Assin North constituency, the Akonfudi electoral area. These constituents appear quite ready and willing to vote in this by-elections. And it's, if anything is to go by, really, if you look at the turnout now, then maybe you could be saying that there could be quite a number of individuals who may decide just to come out of their homes to be a part of the exercise. It's still quite early days yet, but I mean, for the three political parties who are in this race, this or these signs or individuals who've already masked up at these polling stations will be a good sign for a lot of them. And so that's the current situation here at the Akonfudi basic cluster of basic schools, where voting is expected to kick off at exactly 7 a.m. The constituents are already coming around in their numbers. There's one more polling station there, and in my shots currently, I can see them from where I am, but it won't be too clear if I decide to allow viewers as well just catch a glimpse of exactly what it is. And so they look ready and settled, but I must mention as well that the presence of the police to ensure a smooth and transparent process is here as well. They are here in their numbers. They've been here all throughout the week in the build up to this crucial by-elections, and you can see their visibility quite clearly. There was a mention yesterday of they being in uniform with their names embroidered on it. That appears to be the case at this particular cluster of polling stations that we are at currently, Crosby.
Eric, thank you so much. We'll get back to you in the course of the bulletin for some updates on how the process is going and what more you'd have to report for us in the Assin North constituency. So stay with us here on TV3 and all the media general platforms. We are your election command center for extensive coverage of the Assin North by-election. To some other stories, and the Ghana National Petroleum Tanker Drivers Union has directed members to lay down their tools until the government commits to a timeline for fixing bad roads in the heavy industrial area, which transports over 6.7 million litres of petroleum products daily. George Queening has more in this report.
Tanker drivers who transport petrol, LPG and premix within this very enclave have been dealing with this deplorable roads for years, and concerns put before government and the relevant authorities have fallen on deaf ears. It's a reason they are charting this very path. All roads leading to the 4 petroleum products depot in Tema, Takoradi, Kumasi and Buipe are in deplorable conditions. The nationwide strike declared by the Ghana National Petroleum Tanker Drivers Union is to push government to face the bad roads to improve the supply of petroleum products across the country.
This has nothing to do with politics. It's purely about fixing the road. So we want them to fix the road. If they don't commit themselves, for us to see that they committed themselves by fixing the road, this strike will continue.
Considering the high levels of revenue generated from the sector, the union says it was high time government intervenes.
His Excellency the President, all right, I was part of the meeting with him in 2017 at Jubilee House, and he instructed Amwakwata, all right, to fix this road because of the area, the enclaves. But the man refused to. He awarded the contract to a contractor for 2 solid years now. So this just simple road for about 7 kilometers. My brother, indeed, if we are serious as a country with this hazardous product around these enclaves, can't we fix it?
There are 9 depots within the Tama heavy industrial area. Each tanker transports 13,500 litres of petroleum products, bringing total liftings of 500 tankers daily to 6.75 million litres from Tama alone. The repercussion will be dire, taking into consideration the total daily liftings in the other depots, including Takoradi, Kumasi and Buipe. The Tema Fuel Company Limited is one of the 9 depots within the Tema heavy industrial area. On a daily basis, it transports 4 million litres of petrol and diesel and 1 million litres of LPG, and that's on the average 120 trucks doing the transportation. This very strike is impacting on their business.
As you can see, we've got an empty truck park today as a result of the tanker driver union strike. This means that we've lost revenue. Once the trucks load, that's how we make revenue here. Also, as you can see with these big tanks, once we load, we create space for the vessels at anchorage to be able to discharge their products into the tank. If you're not loading, it means that we are not going to be able to create the space. The vessels will be lined up for a longer period of time than anticipated.
The situation is no different in Takoradi, one of the 4 depots. Already, concerns have been raised on a possible crisis if the concerns of the tanker drivers are not addressed. George Quainin, TV3 News, Tema.
Now, organised labour has threatened a nationwide strike from Monday, July 10, if management of Assin Asogli fails to reinstate 3 dismissed workers. Secretary General of the TUC and spokesperson of organised labour issued the warning at a news conference in Accra.
All workers of Ghana are going to stay at home if our 3 brothers Assin Asogli Power Ghana Limited are not reinstated. This does not only cover workers in the civil service or workers in the public service alone. GPRTU are all going to stay away. So no car will move in this country from 10th of July 2023. And from 10th of July, yes. So comrades, this is the decision that has been made.
The dismissed workers are said to have initiated moves to form a union.
It is not good for the image and the psychic of this particular country. See, when we keep on sending that particular signal, that until such things are done, we cannot get things right, it doesn't help the working environment. These are simple things that we should be able to do behind closed doors. And I call upon the minister to, as a matter of agency, get this thing resolved as quickly as possible. Don't wait until the 10th of July and we get ourselves in a mess before people start calling somebody for a meeting. No.
Organized labor has called for their reinstatement.
Especially when the Labour Commission is gone to court. And for heaven knows what, why the court issue is delaying. I recall when the teacher unions were on strike and then the Labour Commission goes to court. Within 24 hours, a court decision is issued. So how come that on this case, the issue is in court for more than 3 months and then nobody is hearing anything from the court outcome? Well, it sounds very strange and interesting to me that there is a departure on the way the Labour Commission and the courts work.
We gonna roll, we gonna roll, we gonna roll, we gonna roll.
Well, that's how we wrap up on the morning news here on TV3. My name is Noble Crosby, and as always, more news on our website, 3news.com. Please log on for more. It's going to be a busy morning here at TV3 as Roland, Cookie, and Noella takes away for the rest of the program. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning. How are you?
I do well, thank you. How are you?
I see.
Good morning.
I see that you're already in the mood for the election.
Yes. I mean, it's a packed day for the newsroom, the by-election in the Assin North constituency. So.
You guys are going to be busy.
Yes, you guys are going to be busy.
I was just going to say that. What do you
all going to you guys.
Everyone is going to be busy. You especially. You will be busy.
I'm trying to extricate myself so that we say, Roland say so. Charlie, today they make it go sleep.
Possible.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's
I don't.
not possible.
So we wish all the best. Who do you think will win?
Well, I've not done any work in the constituency, any research in the constituency, but if I can gauge from the conversations and the campaigns of the 2 main political parties, it is going to be a tight race.